I was posting my fictional diary entries when police questioned me about crimes matching my stories. I was editing my TikTok series, Diary of a Psycho, when two detectives knocked on my apartment door. I'd been running the account for 6 months, posting fake diary entries from a fictional serial killer's perspective. Dark, twisted stuff that got me 400,000 followers. When I opened the door, they didn't smile. Veronica Blake, we need you to come down to the station for questioning. My roommate Ashley came out of her room. What's going on? One detective held up his badge. Your roommate's been writing about crimes. Real crimes. We need to discuss it. My stomach dropped, but I grabbed my phone anyway. Ashley's face went white. Real crimes? Veronica, what is he talking about? I tried explaining, but the detective cut me off. You can explain at the station. Let's go. At the station, they put me in an interrogation room. The kind I'd only seen in movies with the metal table and mirror that's definitely two-way. A female detective walked in carrying a folder thick with papers. She sat across from me and opened it. Let's talk about your TikTok account, specifically the entries you posted between March and June. I shifted in my seat. It's fiction, creative writing. That's the whole point of the series. She pulled out printed screenshots of my posts. March 9th, you wrote, I watched him through his window for 3 weeks. Tonight, I finally broke in while he slept. He never saw it coming. That same night, Justin Fletcher was murdered in his home in Riverside. Intruder came through the window while he slept. My hands started shaking. That's a coincidence. I made that up. She pulled out another screenshot. April 15th, you wrote, I poisoned her coffee at the cafe. She smiled at me while ordering. Had no idea it was the last smile she'd ever give. 2 days later, Melissa Grant died from poisoning at a cafe in Westwood. The barista said a woman ordered for her. I felt sick. I didn't know about that. I just write dark fiction. My followers know it's not real. The detective leaned forward. Do they? Because we checked. You posted that entry the morning before Melissa died. Your post has timestamps. Her death happened 12 hours later. I tried to process what she was saying, but my brain was spinning. I write multiple entries in advance and schedule them. I didn't know someone would actually die. That's insane. She wasn't done. She pulled out 5 more screenshots. Each one matched a real crime. A stabbing at a parking garage that matched my May 3rd entry about following someone to their car. A drowning that matched my May 20th entry about holding someone underwater at the beach. A hit and run that perfectly matched my June 2nd entry about running someone over and not stopping. Every single fictional entry I'd written corresponded to an actual crime within days of posting. We've been tracking a pattern for 3 months. Your posts predict these crimes with disturbing accuracy. Either you're committing them or you have information about who is. I put my head in my hands. I'm a creative writing student. I post psychological horror fiction. That's all this is. The detective stood up. Here's what we know. You have detailed knowledge of crimes before they happen. You have no solid alibis for any of these dates. And your IP address shows you were researching these victims' neighborhoods on Google Maps days before posting. My throat closed up. I research locations for realism. That's part of writing. I look up random neighborhoods to make my stories feel authentic. She crossed her arms. Random neighborhoods where people coincidentally end up dead? I started crying. This is insane. I'm not a murderer. I write fiction for TikTok. Check my account. Check my drafts. I have dozens of entries that didn't match anything because they're made up. She stared at me for a long moment. Then she said something that made my blood run cold. We did check. Every entry you've posted since March has matched a real crime. That's not coincidence. That's pattern. They kept me there for 6 hours. Kept asking the same questions. Where was I on these dates? Why did I choose these specific scenarios? How did I know details that weren't released to the public? I answered everything. Showed them my writing process, my scheduled posts, my research folders full of crime documentaries and psychological thrillers I used for inspiration. Then a different detective came in and whispered something to the female detective. Her face changed. She looked at me differently. We need to check something. Wait here. 20 minutes later, she came back. We reviewed your TikTok account more carefully. Your posts were scheduled weeks in advance using TikTok's auto post feature. The metadata shows you wrote them all in January and February before any of these crimes occurred. Relief flooded through me. Yes, I told you. I write in batches and schedule them. She nodded slowly. We also found something else. Someone's been copying your posts word for word and using them as blueprints. We tracked an account that's been screenshotting your drafts before they go live and executing the crimes to match your stories. We're bringing him in now. I sat there stunned. Someone had been turning my fiction into their murder manual. The detective uncuffed me and I walked out 2 hours later.